BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy. Welcome one and all to episode 482 of BRB UK. I'm Dan, I'm one of your hosts. Good evening, good day, guten Abend, hi, all of these things. Thank you for downloading us. If this is your first time, thank you for downloading us for the first time. If you are a repeat offender, thank you for letting us nestle in your log holes once again. It's not just me on the show. I'm joined by two other people, well, two individuals who pass as people, I suppose. One of them's Tim.
Hello.
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 You all right?
Yeah. How's yourself?
Is that your answer to everything this week?
No.
Tim's got Tim's internet. So if conversations seem like they're going very wrong between me and Tim has basically, you're interfacing with the internet through an empty tin of beans and a piece of string at the moment, right? Which means that sometimes Tim's already legendary cat-like reflexes may be even worse. So he may be responding to a sentence that I said 3.5 weeks ago. So apologies if stuff seems like it doesn't make sense, or I'm overspeaking, we're speaking over each other. Not doing it on purpose to wind you up. I might be sometimes doing it on purpose to wind up Tim, but not at the moment. So yeah, there we go. Tim, past Tim from 3.5 weeks ago, hello. Coleman, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Using the magic of editing, hopefully in the actual finished product, we will sound like no one is delayed and we are all fine.
Yes, everything is fine. Much like the rest of the world at the moment, everything is fine.
All fine. Nothing to worry about.
Everything's fine. Do you know what's not fine? I didn't get a chance to play very many video games this week. That's not fine. But I did. I'm not going to talk about it in length because you two chaps and Kev have already. But I did bite the bullet, picked up Elden Ring.
Oh.
Picked it up on the PC.
Oh.
Well, actually, okay. So I've had one instance of chonky graphics being very low frame rate. Just a frame rate randomly tanking for a second. But it didn't do it in the middle of anything important. But, and I think the reason why I think I'm getting away with it is because I'm running it off a PCIe 4 SSD, which has got stupid fast read and write times. And it seems that a lot of the problems that Elden Ring has is about caching what's called shader compiles. So it's about how the game, it's basically how to do with how the visuals put together. And it's very computationally expensive to render those, to generate those on the fly. And I think on the PC, it clears the shader cache quite rapidly. So
congratulations on going from Elden Ring to boring in record amounts of time.
It's all a matter of perspective. Anyway, all I will say is that if you're running it off a super fast SSD, the protected drive, if you will, you're going to be fine. If you're not, well,
not so much.
Is what it seems to be. Is what it seems to be. So I was in there as a top tip. If you're running it off a nice fast SSD, you're fine on the PC. If you're not, you're probably not.
Okay.
So there we go. Here endeth the lesson. My most consistent enemy so far in Elden Ring has been gravity.
Yeah, ball damage.
Every single time. Bloody
Did you
gravity.
see, there's a video from Dunkley, and he put out a compilation of a very quick, condensed version of him completing the game. It's about 6 or 7 minutes long. And there's a point where he finds a power-up to, say, it's Ashes of War or something. And it says, no fall damage. And he's like, brilliant. And then just jumps off a cliff and dies. And goes, oh.
So, no, we meant the season. You don't get injured by falling leaves. Oh, right, great, fantastic. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Elden Ring something like that. But, yeah, I mean, I do enjoy how it's trolling me by actually hiding the tutorial area at a point where a dude says, seriously, jump. It's going to be fine. And I haven't played a lot of Souls games, but I've played enough to know that if someone tells you to jump off something, you ruddy well don't. So
yeah, there's a lot of notes saying things like definitely no boss ahead, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I missed the tutorial area the first time on my first build of the character, and then I ended up cycling back for something and went, oh wait a minute, there is a tutorial.
Oh, this tells me what I should do.
Initially, I just went out into the open world and went, there's a big guy with a horse. I'm going to hit him with something and see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I've been a sneaky boy. I've been sneaking around camps, being a sneaky
Sneaking definitely helps. What build have you gone with, Dan, out of interest?
I went with whatever the first one is. Is it a Vagabond?
Right, yes.
Oh, okay,
I nearly went with Vagabond.
That's why I went for my second.
And the first thing I did was, as soon as I could, take my bloody big axe and shove it in my storage chest, because I could then start rolling. It was basically my reaction time of being able to roll went from your internet to Coleman's internet, is what I would say. Because it sets you up overburdened when you are the Vagabond, and if you just get rid of some of your gear, it's so much better to play. So yeah, but I mean, what little I've had a chance to do it yet, I'm enjoying it. It does feel friendlier than previous Souls, and
yes,
I'm really digging the open world. So I am skeptical still, but pleasantly surprised.
It's friendlier in the sense of there seems to be more checkpoints in more convenient locations, i.e. just before a boss. It's more forgiving in a way that previous Souls games are. However, it does give off the impression as you start playing going, well, this is a much friendlier Souls game, and then at some point you're like, God damn it, I hate this game.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Like the big troll behind the gate going, hello.
Yeah, first time he jumps on you. Yeah.
I'm still loving it at the moment though. I've played quite a lot this week, been making my way through Stormvale Castle, discussing it on the Discord as well with people as well. That's been good. And yeah, there was a big update for Elden Ring today as well, the big patch. So there's been lots of tweaks and fixes, and they seem to have done lots of things that really helped me. They're like, shields are better. I'm like, cool, I use your shield quite a lot. And they're like, magic's better. And you use less magic for a load of spells. And it's like, okay, great, cool, that's good for me as well. The upgrade stones...
The ice stomp thing's been debuffed.
The upgrade things are something stones, smolts, whatever they are. I've forgotten the name. But the things you use to upgrade your weapons, basically. The level 1 versions of those are easier to find on enemies. So that's also
crafting
great
kits
news as well. No. The sharpening stones. Not sharpening. Something stones.
Sure.
Anyway,
sure,
they're the stones you use to upgrade your weapons.
That would be a whetstone, surely.
No, because the whetstone knife is something else. But anyway, yeah.
Oh God, I've set him off.
But yeah. Still really enjoying that game. Still got the joy of discovery, but without the like, I am at a dead end because I can't progress past this point kind of thing. Like, yeah, really enjoying that game so far. I'm taking my time and working my way through it, but really good.
I'm just going around leaving notes on any kind of animal that I find, saying definitely a dog.
Good.
Excellent.
Oh, that's you then. Brilliant.
I mean, you're doing God's work, mate, is what you're doing.
No, anyone that does that, I applaud you. That's still funny to me. I find a horse and it says definitely a dog. Funny.
Yeah. They're fine.
Tortoise,
it's the ones in annoying
brilliant.
Places I don't like on top of levers you need to be pulling and stuff like that.
They're still quite funny as a troll.
I've left some messages in like helpful places to people, and I keep on getting them appraised. So yeah, that I don't know what that does exactly, but that's a good thing, I guess.
It gives you a sense of warm well-being, Tim, and allows you to sleep at night.
I did it just after fighting a boss, just to be a dick and go, look, I did it. I never know what to write in the notes, you know.
Yeah, you're a bit limited, aren't you?
Yeah, I've
That's
left
the
a
same as
few
all those
like
games, isn't it?
I know.
There was a wall that was protecting a little underground cave thing that you couldn't really see right over it. So I just said to jump over the wall, and that seems to get.
Do you know what that is?
One of the ones that
wall.
gets a lot of praise.
Do you know what that wall is?
Huh?
It's definitely a dog.
Definitely a dog.
Definitely a dog.
That's note should have definitely a dog.
Definitely a dog. Definitely a dog. Uh-oh, Elden Ring.
Right. Anyway, we should probably talk about stuff we've actually properly done played.
Yeah.
Which for me is nothing new, but Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
Call me Randy and snap me in a sliminy jiminy. It's WW 2K22 time.
More like 2K, not poo.
Oh!
Because this is actually quite good.
That's a sick burn for anything that isn't 2K19, I do believe.
Yeah. I mean, I was positive. Was it? No, it wasn't 29. Was it 2020 that had the problems? Yeah.
Yes, it had many problems.
So that was a game I was more positive on than a lot of outlets reviewing the game purely
now,
on.
why do you think that might be?
Because you love it.
The only problems I really had with the game were they changed the controls. And other than that, I didn't really have any problems. Then further, after reviewing the game, more problems started to arise, especially when I took the game to Tim's house and we all played like four to six people, like having a good old TLC match, and people just clipping through objects or being one side of the ring and then suddenly appearing the other and melting through things, and it just
which was amusing,
very
especially
wrong.
when drunk.
That stuff's great, but when you're trying to
Mostly
enjoy the
funny
game,
when you're drunk, though.
big problem.
Like,
Definitely a dog.
it's definitely a dog.
That might explain why Elden Ring's so been enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, if you don't know what's been going on with WWE 2K, the 2K series, since 2K picked it up, they picked up the same studios from THQ, Ukes, that were initially working on the game, who have since left 2K and gone off to make a new game with a rival over at AEW, I think they're called, which is a completely different wrestling organization. And 2K went, okay, well, we're going to make this with another development studio, and they did not have long to work on the game, and that's what happened to 2K20. So instead, they ended up delaying, completely scrapping the game for a year, so we got no 2K21. Then they announced 2K22, and much like every sporting game, they go, hey, this is the year, and we released it the year before the title of the year, and then they ended up delaying it till this year. And thank goodness they did, because the game's actually really, really good. So I'm assuming that the delays and the time that has been put into it has actually paid off. What they've done is added older features from previous games that people have been asking for, but also stripped out some of the more unnecessary parts of the game, especially in like character creation and stuff. And by doing that, they've been able to focus on what's more important. So if you're going from a previous title to this one, you will notice that the controls have been updated. However, it's been updated in such a way that it's very quick to get used to, and then once you have, it does fully make sense on how you're playing this game. A lot of the problems that, even from the early games of 3D wrestling games, early problems of 3D wrestling games like hair falling through objects or title belts going through a character's chest because they're too big, all that stuff seems to have been solved now. This is the best looking that a WWE game has been since the inception, I think. And that's all great. And it plays really, really well. And there's lots of fun modes for you to play with, and online and creation. And the creation stuff's what I really get into. Now, the three main ways you can play this game, you've got a kind of like a career mode where you will make a character. You will go to the WWE Performance Center and build up to going on one of the three main shows, so NXT, SmackDown, or Raw. And you can kind of work your way up. So I went from the Performance Center into NXT, which is kind of like their indie show, and then built my way up into SmackDown, and then I'm going through SmackDown into Raw. And then in that mode, there's different storylines you can unlock, either through exploring backstage areas and speaking to people. So you might bump into a fan who's like, hey, I'm a big fan of this type of wrestling, and I would love to see you in a ladder match or something with this character. Would you do that match for me because I'm such a big fan? And you can go, yes or no.
I have a question.
Yep.
They sound a bit like a stalker. They're like, hi, I really like this kind of wrestling. I also know the name of all your family and your pet dog, and if you want to see them again, can you please do some wrestling involving some chairs?
There is a guy who you constantly bump into. I mean, there's two fans that you bump into a lot. One of them's like a female podcaster, and another one's just like your stereotypical male internet wrestling fan. Slightly overweight, Bret the Hitman Hart t-shirt, like trying to hype up his Twitter, even though it's got like 4 followers. That kind of stuff. Yeah, it's me. So that happens. Or you could bump into other wrestlers and say the wrong thing to them, or say the right thing to them, or end up teaming up with them, challenging for titles, what have you. And then there's the actual general manager's office where you're meant to actually progress the story and follow correctly. Also, you can go on social media and just call out a wrestler and end up in some kind of program with them. And all this builds up your stats into that character you've created through your career mode. It's called My Rise. It's very fun.
So is it self-aware insofar as it's like hamming up the show aspect of it? Or does it portray it as this is real, genuine beef you have with this person who's totally not playing a character?
It's treated seriously, as wrestling is. There's kind of the way WWE used to be back in the day was, hey, the $1 million man is a man who has $1 million. He is a millionaire. So they would drive him around in limousines outside of the company, outside of the shows, and make him wear the finest suits and jewelry and all this kind of stuff. And he'd carry around this $1 million title. So people used to follow the kayfabe really well. And that now in the days of internet, you can't really do that. Everyone knows what a person is outside of their character, what they're like in real life, and it follows the storylines like they're real, and it follows the way you talk to people online like they're real. But then there's fans that you might meet backstage who are like, "Oh, I love strong style. Can you show me a strong style match or something?" So it's a little column A, a little column B kind of thing. One of the other modes is one that follows the career. And they do this. They've been doing this since like 2013 now. They'll go, this is an era we like, or this is a wrestler that we like, so we want to follow their career or that era. So before it's been like the Attitude Era, which is like the late 90s, or Stone Cold Steve Austin's career. And you go through and you play like legacy matches out of their career, and they intertwine them with real gameplay and footage, footage from the matches. So this case, it's the cover star Rey Mysterio, been going, older Mexican to ECW to WCW to WWE, so very long history with him. Interesting in the matches that they've chosen, you've got literally one WCW match, then it goes to WrestleMania, quite a chunk into his career, and then as he's a champion and all this kind of, so it's missing like key matches, like the Royal Rumble he won, or how he won the title, or his debut match, or anything like this. And I think it's just because they don't have rights to certain wrestlers at the moment.
Yeah.
For instance, when he won his, because a lot of people, and that's another thing as well, the roster is it's an amazing roster in this game, but a lot of those people aren't with the company anymore. They've either jumped ship over to TNA or over to AEW. So, and some of them are still in the game just because they've gone, well, we can leave them in whatever. And then some of them clearly they were in the game and had been stripped out at the last minute because it looks like a very hurtful breakup kind of thing.
Oh dear.
So there's a lot of that. One of the key matches in Rey Mysterio's career would be when he won the World Heavyweight Championship and the big gold belt. And the reason that that's not in there is because Kurt Angle is one of the opponents, and he's not in the game because he has a legend status at the moment. He's not an active wrestler in the company. But I think he's licensed out his likeness to a completely different game that's coming out at another time. So he can't be into this game. So there's things like that. It's very weird choices in the matches. But still, it was a fun mode to go through.
And have they kind of, much though I hate this term, kind of cancelled some historical wrestling characters because of their, how can we say, less than savoury points of view or behaviour?
That happened to Hulk Hogan at one point.
That's all.
But he's back in.
Oh, he's back in now. Okay.
Yeah, all's been forgiven, apparently. Even though at the last time I saw him, he came out to host a WrestleMania, and it's really funny because he comes out and he's like, "Oh, my Hulkamaniacs," and all the crowd's just going, "Boo," which is really funny to me because he deserves it. But at the time all that was going on, Hulk Hogan was meant to have this huge, like they were pushing him in the game. They were going to have this like legacy mode of Hulk Hogan and sell you these like over 100-pound packs with a special Hulk figurine and a sign autograph from him and all this kind of stuff. And then that happened and they cancelled it at the last minute, and it seemed like a very threadbare game because of it. But anyway, Chris Benoit, he's the only one that you won't see return to those games because of the very real life tragedy where double murder suicide. So yeah, that's the only kind of cancelling you see in these games, I think, so far. There's always a grace period with people, whether they can come back if they decided they've forgiven them kind of thing. So another mode, the returning mode is My GM mode. This existed before. This is kind of like Football Manager for wrestling.
Genetically modified
become
crops,
a GM, general manager. Yes.
Yes, exactly that, Tim.
You play as a general manager, which can be one of the pre-existing general managers like William Regal or Stephanie McMahon or Shane McMahon. Or you can just use a created character in place, but it means you don't get any perks from having an experienced GM. And then you go off and you take either Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and put them under your wing. And then you have to decide what wrestlers you're hiring, how much you're paying for them, what kind of arena you're using, road crew, all those kind of decisions. And then the actual matches themselves, you can choose whether you're going to be a sneaky GM and have a someone interfere in a match to play favorites or to boost ratings in some way, and what kind of match they're going to use, and if that's going to fatigue a wrestler, or if a wrestler needs rest, and then the wrestlers may come to you, and like AJ Styles will come to me and go,
a wrestler needs to be a wrestler.
Yes. It's what he said. I will say, I'm saying wrestler, but none of them are called wrestlers. They're superstars in the WWE.
Oh, okay.
Because they're entertainers.
Okay.
It's not wrestling. It's not fighting. It's entertainment.
It's not wrestling. It's sports entertainment.
Okay.
As they call it in the WWE. Yes. But I will continue to say wrestler. So AJ Styles might contact me outside the show and go, hey, I really like tag teaming with Roman Reigns. How about you put us in a tag team together? And you can say yes or no. If you don't do as they wish, then their morale will dip. If they say yes and follow it through. I mean, you can say yes and just forget to do it. And then they will get really knocked off with you and might jump ship to another program. So there's all those decisions. It's one that I've never really got into in previous iterations, and they got rid of it. And loads of people have been calling for this mode back. And I've gone, why? It wasn't very good. But after playing it, just to kind of get a feel for it for the review, I've gone, yeah, this is actually really good. I like this. What's next? Am I going to like Football Manager? Who knows?
No. Walk yourself back from the precipice there, Coleman.
Hockey Manager spin-off.
The GM thing actually sounds used
Curling
to be
Manager is where it's at.
A different Football Manager game called LMA Manager, where you were slightly less in charge of some of the team stuff and a bit more in charge of like buying a stadium and upgrading the stadium and setting the price of tickets and all that side of stuff as well. Kind of reminds me of that side of things a bit more.
It's funny as well because I'm the GM for Raw, and that's the flagship show. And starting off, you don't have all the resources to your disposal. So I'm sending out Randy Orton and Roman Reigns to fight for a title in a school gymnasium because I don't have the funds for an arena. It's so odd to see. But yeah, that's really, really fun. I've been enjoying that one. And then also there's My Universe mode, which is like a stripped down version of the My Rise, the kind of career mode. It's like a career mode, but it's more like the old school way of doing it. There's still storylines and things, but it's mostly done through menus to set up and then follow through. Really enjoy that one as well. And as well, where My Rise is a specific, you pick one character and then that's your character. Using My Universe mode, you might get sick of using your character and just swap out to play as someone else. You can make loads of creative characters and swap them around on different shows and all this kind of stuff. So it's less scripted as to what's available on My Rise. And then the final game mode is there's like a FIFA Ultimate Team type thing, which is a card game where you can purchase in-game currency using real currency to buy packs of cards. And I refuse to play this, even though a lot of achievements are tied to it. So
really? That's not good either.
That's a bit shady.
I don't like that.
And there's no way to get these achievements without spending money.
You can unlock in-game currency by playing exhibition mode and just like playing against computer one-on-one or challenge modes and all this kind of stuff.
But it's
you can unlock
calibrated
currency that way. But then the grind to unlock certain cards will be and I think you're buying blind packs to do it as well, and all that stuff's really annoying and shady. So I hate that. But the game itself, ignoring all the gamble mechanics, I hate. It's really enjoyable. It's a kind of return to form. The online stuff, I need to play more of the online stuff at the moment. I'm just using it for Creator Suite because you can upload your own images and download them again, which has been
so
fun.
So how is the BRB UK triple threat looking?
We have a BRB UK team, which I haven't done yet. I think by Monday I'm going to have these uploaded online because I still need to work on movesets for all three characters.
Movesets?
Yeah.
What's Tim's signature move?
Yeah, what's our finishers?
Make your opponent slip into a coma.
I don't know. Well, the last time I made Tim, I gave him the F5.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've got to work out all that, but I think I'm going to put them up by Monday at the very latest. But if you do pick up WW2K22, I believe I don't know about fighting online, but the creation suite is cross-platform.
Oh,
so
awesome.
You can, I am on PlayStation, but you can download on Xbox, and you can look up the tags that I will set will be Coleman, Tim, Dan for each respective, and then BRB UK, BigRedBarel. Those will be the three tags I'll use.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to taking this round, Tim, and we're going to get into shenanigans.
Shenanigans. So can you browse the user created content online, or does it have to be via?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, of course you can. You can do it by popularity. You can search. You can look at what's the most downloaded, that kind of stuff. It's something that I use. There's a whole. Okay, it's going to sound really nerdy now. Like back in 2006,
I was talking about
I think
shape
it was.
caches earlier on, mate. Don't worry, you're fine.
I used to be. Well, I still am. I guess kind of part of a community called Cause WS, which is Create a Wrestler West Samoa, because that's where the site originated.
Right.
It was a community initially where we would make characters and then people would go, oh yeah, I really like that, or I think you could do this to improve it, or have you tried changing this, or tried change it because you tried make actual existing wrestlers, and my Brock Lesnar back in 2007 was like a really amazing thing because I'd recreated all the tattoos and stuff on him, but using rudimentary shapes and carving them out because you couldn't upload images back then and all this kind of stuff. So that was the community, and then you would write down a formula of how you did it, so people could copy it in game and go through all the menus. Now you just make a wrestler and you upload them. It's amazing.
Kids
but I
these
still
days don't know how bloody lucky they are, do they?
But there's still talented creators on there, and I use that site to use instead of go through the actual in-game creation suite downloader thing.
Does it feel like cheating? Is that what it's like, Coleman? It feels like cheating. You go.
Oh no! It's not that. I'm still downloading the character. It's just they're telling me how to find the character. It's just better to use the people that I know on that website because they do make really good. You wouldn't think they were a created character. You would think that they were actually in the game. They're very, very good at it, and they've been doing it for over 10 years. So that's probably why. But yeah, it's very good. I like this game.
And if you're not a massive wrestling fan, do you reckon it's still worth a look, or do you need to be kind of invested in the WWE franchise to really get your money?
Sounds like the controls are easier.
Oh yeah, the controls are easier. I mean, they're easier once you get the hang of it. The controls are always weird in a wrestling game. You pick it up and you go, I'm going to mash this button to hit, and it doesn't work like that because it's a grapple system. I would say it's approachable. I'd say any wrestling game is approachable for someone who isn't a fan of wrestling. I mean, it was WrestleMania 2000 on the N64. Like, I'd lapsed off wrestling completely, and that game, just playing it over and over again, made me go, I should check out wrestling again, and then really got back in. And any time I've kind of stepped away, it's the games that get me back into it. So, it might be it's the gateway drug to actual live wrestling.
I have a question, Mr. Coleman. If this is back on form and possibly benefiting from not having a few niggles, like things crashing through each other when they've had more time to actually smooth out those sort of wrinkles, is this the best wrestling game since when? Like what kind of standard are you measuring against in terms of previous wrestling games?
I think, what was the one I gave a perfect score? I think 2014 was the last time that I played one of these games and went, this is the best this game can be for its current generation, for the technology available, all this kind of stuff. So I'd say since 2014.
Okay.
They've been good games since then, but not one that I've picked up and immediately gone, this is just brilliant. And I'm looking forward. I mean, I'd be interested to see what happens going forward, because allegedly there's talks between WWE and EA over a potential license takeover. But if they were to stay with 2K, I'd be happy, because they seem to have made some headway on this game now.
Excellent. That's quite reassuring.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got a good wrestling game, Coleman. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, especially since, the last game with the glitches, and then that Battleground game, that was terrible.
Yes.
Oh, they gave it away. It was free, bad. And I felt like I was robbed.
Oh, dear. Precious moments of your time that you're never going to get back.
I really tried as well.
So you can pick up WWE 2K22. That's a real mouthful. On not only PS5, PS4 as well, Xbox One, Series X, or the Series, I think.
The Xbox family of consoles.
There we go. And also good old PC as well.
Modding scenes are always fun on the PC. I will say, I am playing on the PS5, so your mileage may vary in how it performs on other consoles. I'm not 100%. I've only played it on the one console. I will say though, probably the slowest game in terms of loading than I've played on the PS5 compared to other titles. But I think that's just because of so if you use created characters and stuff, it will. For instance, I made our team. I made the entrance. Once it finishes loading, it's all seamless between entrances to match and to finish.
But I think it's often the entrances for some reason that takes a bit of extra time for something. I don't know why that is, but
there's always loading screens, but I think the thing that, it's loading everything before the match starts, so it doesn't have to load in between scenes. But then also, because I use a lot of created elements, it has to load all that stuff individually as well. And I think that's what bulks up the loading time. But yeah.
Does it run at, I've just read something weird. Does it run at 60 or does it run at 30?
I think it's 60. It doesn't feel like
there's
30.
like PC mods saying, because I just looked as you said that, enables 60 frames a second. Seems a bit weird. That may be completely wrong. If someone wants to give me a free copy of the game, I will check it out. How's that deal?
If it is lower than 60, I've not noticed because, lower, 30 frames is making me ill lately. So I've been absolutely fine.
I'm glad to see that you developed some taste in your old age, Coleman.
No, I think the problem is you do one and then you go, oh, now I can't go back. It makes me travel sick. Great. Thanks. Thanks, brain.
Stupid brain. So it's not only that you've played, you've also had a go at Stranger of Paradise, I understand, as well. Yes.
So to give it its full name, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, which we've spoken about a couple of times. We've made fun of the I Am Chaos stuff from E3, and we spoke about it last week because the PlayStation State of Play, and I said that game looked a lot better in this trailer than it did on the
I downloaded the demo after I was speaking about it last week, but
I also downloaded the demo, and then on the day I was fully intended to play it, I got a lovely gift from Squeenix, and I got a code for the game. So
lovely.
That now. Yes.
Nice.
So thank you, Squeenix. This does not impact my review whatsoever, but yes. So Final Fantasy Origin, Stranger of Paradise, or the other way around if you want to reverse it, as you probably should. This is a prequel to the original Final Fantasy title on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And unlike the original Nintendo Entertainment System version of Final Fantasy, this is a kind of hack and slash 'em, beat 'em up RPG with more emphasis on the hack and slash than the RPG side of things. And it's much faster paced than any Final Fantasy game. It's very different. However, it is very, very fun. So you play as a character called Jack, which is the least Final Fantasy name of a Final Fantasy character.
I was going to say, they must have been up all night thinking of that one.
Yep. And he has teamed up with people that are called the Heroes of Light, I believe it is. And they
Bob, Dave, and Clive.
And they are on a mission to kill Chaos.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
And it's because, and they all have varying degrees of amnesia, so they don't have attachments to places they visited or people they've seen, and they're just focused on the mission is the idea. It's something to do with their title. Yes.
Are they not just paralyzed by the thought that never being sure that they might have left the gas on? Is that part of the problem here? Is that what kind of, they just stand in the middle and go, I don't know if I put the gas on or not. Did I turn off? I don't know. Did I? I can't do anything about chaos if I'm wondering if my house is going to turn into a fire. Well, I might have left the gas on. I can't remember.
Sounds a bit chaotic.
Mm-hmm. It does. See? And that is the problem. You're ever really going to win, Coleman?
That's why we have to kill chaos.
Right. But how do they know they have to kill chaos if they can't remember anything?
Well, this is...
That's all they can remember.
So they all have, because they're the Heroes of Light, they're stronger, they have powers compared to regular people around them. And they all have these stones that kind of vibrate when they're close to each other and all the stones draw each other closer. Yeah, JO's crystals. They all draw each other closer, and then the stones will vibrate to say that they are who they are. And that's how they come together.
So it's like Power Rangers meets Love Eggs, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But
okay, great. Glad we cleared that up.
they've got to come together to fight evil, I guess, to fight darkness. It's only Jack who has
Hang on, are you playing Destiny?
No, not sure? The darkness, not the band. Not the band that lives in the moon. No, to fight like dark forces kind of thing. However, it's just Jack that really, really wants to kill
Jack.
Chaos. And the way he describes it is like he doesn't have any memories. He just woke up one day and felt the need. He has to kill Chaos. He doesn't know what Chaos is. He doesn't know who it is. He doesn't know where to find it. He just knows he has to kill it. It's like a hunger. It's like a thirst. It's this insatiable feeling that he needs to kill Chaos. And the others are just kind of along with them for the right. They're like, well, we've got to go fight bad things for good. So I guess we're going to kill Chaos.
Right. So you can remember nothing other than he wants to kill Chaos, but couldn't tell you what Chaos is.
Yeah.
And then he's walking around going, are you Chaos? No? All right. Are you Chaos? No. All right. Are you?
What about you?
Just go around every NPC.
Right,
have you seen Chaos?
I mean, initially in the launch trailer, in the reveal trailer, which is very early in the start of the game, they walk up this. I mean, the whole game shows this really powerful knight-looking character who's just hacking and slashing at soldiers like they're nothing, and then later on, you come up against them in the throne room. And you see them, and he's just like, "Are you Chaos? I've come to kill Chaos." And they've toned that down a bit since the trailer, I feel. But
surely the character was like,
and then
no,
and the knight goes,
"I am not Chaos."
No, he goes, "No, I'm the man who I'm the being that wishes to become Chaos."
Oh,
so
what?
It's all very confusing. I will say,
it's worse. Intention to Chaos.
Yeah, there's a level of Final Fantasy writing outside of 8, I think, where I've gone, my brain's just not following this anymore. I'm not. Yeah. I like the game, but my heart's not in it. And there's kind of that with this game as well. And I'm not saying the game's not fun. It just has a very kind of floaty Final Fantasy story. And from a lot of the reviews and stuff that I've read, it seems like it's all going to come together at the end and post-credit and stuff. It's just that in the ride up to that point, it's a lot of, have I been here? I don't know if I've been here. What's going on? Chaos. Where's Chaos? Let's go kill. There's a lot of this. So that's the stuff that I'm following. I'm just it's not fully going to have an effect on me just yet. And there's a lot of references to characters and stuff that I assume they're references to earlier Final Fantasy games, but I never played anything before 6.
So 7 was my first one. So
one of the criticisms I've heard is that kind of, as you said, there's this whole lot of exposition in the story about Chaos must go Chaos. Who the hell am I? Where are you? Why is it always Tuesday? But actually, underneath all that is next to bugger all story, and at their very core, a number of the characters are just plain unlikable. Is that something?
No, I wouldn't say that. The main characters, he's a bit much. He seems like a character from The Bouncer, which is another Squeenix game. But all the other characters, they're all very likable and interesting. You know, you've got 3 other characters to like. Can't remember the names for the life of me because they're not called Jack, which is just a very easy name to remember.
I thought I heard there was quite a good payoff from the story eventually. Like, it doesn't really come together until the final act kind of thing. Yeah,
I'm not saying the story's bad. It's just it's setting a lot of stuff up that hasn't paid off and apparently won't pay off until the end of the game. So it's just a lot of weaving narrative threads.
And killing Chaos. Or wanting to kill Chaos. If only you could remember what indeed Chaos is, or who he is, or even if it's a person.
If you try looking in Emeralds...
If I get to the end of this game and I don't kill Chaos, I'm going to be miffed.
All right, fair enough. I mean, one of the things that does sound quite cool, though, is because it's made by Team Ninja.
Yes.
But there's been kind of a bit of a... They do know hack and slash, but actually they've brought in some quite interesting kind of, albeit light, RPG mechanics about how you build and spec your character. And how's that work out?
Jobs.
Yeah, so you have jobs which
Tim.
Which are classes.
Which you get fired from because you forget what job you do.
Get a job.
So each of the 3 characters, I don't know if this changes later on because I'm only about 5 hours into the game, but each of the side characters with you, they all have a job. So one's a sword fighter, one's a dual wielder, one's just like punches stuff. But Jack can switch out to anything he likes, and it's very much like. Did you ever play Final Fantasy X-2? I think it was.
I can't tell you what Final Fantasy I haven't played.
Well, they did Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
And then in the sequel, it was the 3 female characters. And they were in like a pop band. And it had like a a costume tablet or something, and you would switch out your abilities depending on the costumes, and that meant that the mage didn't have to be a mage, could be a sword fighter or something. It's a bit like that. You can have the same jobs, classes as the other characters. You know, you can dual wield, you can punch stuff, you can be a mage, you can do whatever, or you can unlock new jobs. Or I mean, sword fighter, I think, is or swordsman is the initial one, and then later on you can get sword fighter. So swordsman, big anime sword slash things, pretty cool. And then you can add on at some point. It goes, hey, do you know you can have a mage ability as well? And what Jack can do is have 2 different abilities and switch them on the fly by hitting triangle. So you could be in a room, hack and slash a load of characters, Dark Souls roll out the way, turn into a mage, throw a fireball at them, get the sword back out, and then back into hack and slashing. And it's very fun in that way. What this has made me do is go, because, you know, like I say, I'm very wishy-washy with the way the story is progressing for me at the moment, but the actual game itself, the mechanics are fun. And the minute that I started upgrading different jobs and unlocking new skills, I've gone, oh, I want to unlock everything. I want to get all the jobs and I want to fully spec them, and that's something I need to do. So apparently I have to play this game online, because you can do 3-player co-op. And when you do co-op with other players, it allows you to unlock more XP for leveling up than you would playing on your own. So I need to play with friends, I think. Yeah, like I say, it's a hack and slash RPG type thing. They have taken some influence from the Soul series, not the difficulty. By the looks of it, you do have to pick your difficulty level, so you can make it a lot harder. But it's a lot of characters. Enemies won't be the way you think they would be in a Final Fantasy game. However, they are all recognizable characters from the Final Fantasy series. So you can turn a corner and, oh my god, there's a Tombury with his cooking knife and he's trapped me in a vortex and I've got to kill him before he kills me because he can one-hit stab me, and all that kind of, nice merge of Souls-like with Final Fantasy with, I don't know, Devil May Cry.
Just as long as there's no Chocobo with giant knives on their feet, like, that would be a bit of a nightmare, but anyway.
Chocobo.
That was my next question. No, best Chocobo moment.
I haven't seen one yet.
What? Are you sure this is a Final Fantasy game?
I think the best Chocobo moment wasn't that the racer on the Switch that looks like a mobile game with the amount of ads they've stuck in there.
My favourite Chocobo thing is hearing Tim try and pronounce it.
Chocobo!
There we go. Chocobo!
Ocarina!
Chocobo.
Chocobo. Yeah, that's it.
Chocobo.
We've been pronouncing it incorrectly this whole time. Stranger of Paradise, I think this is a £50 game as a regular title, but it's a £70 game if you want the season pass and everything included. Good price.
Why
for
would you
either,
get
I'd
that,
say.
though?
I don't know. Stuff's coming, I think.
Yeah.
Season pass. I mean, you get like a level 20 sword when you start the game if you've got the super duper edition, I think. But other than that, I'm not sure what's included. I think it's just, hey, we're going to release a bunch of stuff and you're going to have it included in the season pass.
Right.
Pre-buying. Yeah, good game. I recommend it.
That sounds like 2 for 2 this week then, Coleman.
Yeah,
It sounds like 2 good ones.
It's a good time
Really good
for
games.
video games at the moment, though. Like, there's a lot of heavy hitters hitting well.
That's a wrestling reference, I reckon.
Yeah,
heavy
not
hitters.
really.
Not everything. Not everything is a wrestling reference, Coleman.
Everything is a wrestling. If you try hard enough,
no.
everything is about wrestling.
Everything's about wrestling.
Everything
so if
is
I gave
about
you
wrestling.
a situation, you could relate it back to wrestling.
Yes.
Any situation.
Any.
Yes. I might need time, but yes.
Right. So let's say I was a chronic
You should see
amnesiac
him wrestling
who
his
wanted to
shopping
kill
through
chaos,
Tesco's.
But so if I was a chronic amnesiac who wanted to kill chaos but couldn't remember what or what it is, how is that related to wrestling?
Well, Chaos is the mystery opponent, clearly, and you're after him to get the World Stranger of Paradise Championship from
Belt.
Chaos, you see.
Cutting my toenails. How is that related to wrestling?
In this situation, I think, because Chaos is the secret man behind the Ministry of Darkness, which, as we know from 1998, I think it was Vincent Kennedy McMahon, because it was him. It was him all along.
Oh, no.
Really? Those pesky kids?
Cutting toenails, that's just any ECW hardcore match.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Chronic constipation leading to piles.
Oh, well, that's easy. You can get rid of the former by going,
Surely the answer to that is Preparation Triple H, isn't it? Preparation Triple H. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You've done your own one.
Boom. Still got it.
Yeah, everything's about wrestling. Wrestling, baby.
Wrestling.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So, one thing we ought to briefly touch on, I know we are running slightly long already, but there was some interesting stuff came out from ID at Xbox. So, the Xbox's indie program, and one that launched straight up that day.
Yeah.
A little one called Tunic that I'm really, really looking forward to playing.
Ooh, should we all play this tomorrow?
I think we should all
next
play
week.
this.
For next week, I've played the first hour or so. I would say that fans of like games that I didn't play as much, but a lot of people have alluded to this, and I can definitely see the reference in the little I know. But old school Zelda games with a bit of a Souls-like feel. Yeah, it's really cute, really easy to play. Not massively easy to play.
Everything loves Souls now.
Yeah. But like even you find pages of the instruction manual that you like find throughout the environment and then can pick up and study, and you don't quite understand all the language on that or everything else in your environment. But the pages very much look like an old school Zelda manual, as a lot of people have been pointing out. But you can tell it was like a definite old school video game manual from our sort of era of video games and stuff.
Like
but
the 90s.
Yes.
I mean, so I did see someone, I'm not sure whether or not it was purposefully obtuse, this review I saw on the Xbox platform, because it's out on Game Pass, both PC and Xbox, I understand. They were like, oh, someone didn't bother to do the translations on the manuals. It's rubbish, don't know what to do. So I don't know whether they're trolling people there.
No, I think it's a very deliberate part of the game. But yeah, it's intriguing. It's quite Zen-like in a weird way in terms of its presentation, and like little cutesy fox and nice atmosphere and music and little happy forest type thing. But there's a definite difficulty to the game that I think
your soul.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to appreciate that side of things as well. So yeah. Let's talk about it more next week.
It wants to eat your babies.
Early impressions are that the very positive reviews seem justified. So yeah, look forward to playing more of that in time for next week.
Excellent. All right, well, that's our homework for next week, chat.
Can I talk about what I'm excited about?
Oh yeah,
you certainly can. Is it related to video games or just a general things you're excited about?
Is it more wrestling?
I tell you, Dan, it's not just about video games, but it's everything is about wrestling because it's WrestleQuest, which I didn't. I literally. Someone,
I mean, I have to say, this did raise a smile. Is this like Earthbound, but if you were Randy Savage?
It's Golf Quest for wrestling.
Yes.
And I didn't really get along with Golf Quest, but WrestleQuest is a much better idea.
But because wrestling, right?
Because wrestling.
Wrestling.
Our friend Rick sent me a trailer this morning, and I went, "Ooh, that woke me up and it made me excited for this game to come out." But I don't know when it's coming out. But this looks like I'm assuming this will be on other platforms than Xbox, because if this goes on Switch, I think that'll be a perfect.
Yep, it is coming to Switch. Can confirm.
Nice. You make your own little wrestler, and then you play a little RPG, and you are trying to go up against legendary wrestlers such as the late great Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
The late great Andre the Giant.
Oh no.
Oh. And still somehow alive Jacob the Snake-Up.
Really? Is he still alive?
Yeah. I think he's signed to AEW, funnily enough.
Jesus.
Like a manager role.
So yeah, but that is not only coming out on Xbox Series, the Xbox Series Family, whatever it is, Xbox One, PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and good old Steam for the PC.
It's funny that those wrestlers are in there because I think they all started in 8-bit wrestling games.
And, yeah, Coleman, if you've only seen the trailer, worth going back and watching some of the stream from the Idea Xbox stream that they did, because there's Booker T and someone else that I'm less familiar with, but another wrestler as well, I believe, or wrestling promoter guy. That
Is it Kurt Angle?
No, it wasn't. Someone beginning with K though. Anyway, but yeah.
Yes, Kevin. Keith. The WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
But yeah, but they also had one of the developers on as well, and yeah, they had a quite interesting interview with them as well. So I think you'd like that as a wrestling fan. It wasn't the world's best interview, but it was interesting from the dev perspective. And I
mean,
think
to be
you're
fair,
right
this is
what
a game that has
wrestlers
the
were
word
saying, so.
wrestle in the title.
Exactly. So Coleman was already on board.
Wrestle.
Also, I generally quite like the presentation of this thing overall. I don't quite understand why they had numerous breaks throughout and they had two presenters that they could have bounced through. But yeah, there was some good little announcements in there. I like the look of Curse to Golf. They showed a bit more about that and had an interview with the developer. That looked a lot of fun. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. I don't know if that was an announcement or I just never seen of it before, but that is from the developer of Ashen, which I heard got a lot of people talking about with in a positive way, and that's apparently a kind of spiritual successor to that in some ways as well. So that looks like one to look out for as well. And we saw a bit more of Trek to Yomi, which I think myself and Coleman are quite excited about as well. So yeah, that looked interesting as well.
Not as excited as WrestleQuest.
Dude, you're not going to be excited about anything. Nothing will excite you more than WrestleQuest until the word WWE 2K23 comes along.
I mean, it's WrestleMania in a couple of weeks, so I'm full in wrestle mode at the minute.
But also, I'm really excited about. They showed a bit more, but it came out today, and I've downloaded it and not played it yet. But Shredders came out today, and I'm quite looking forward to that. Snowboarding game looks very good, graphically looks really crisp, and quite looking forward to playing that, so I'll probably play some of that for next week as well. But this was quite a good little presentation thing. As I said, they had a few gaps which I didn't understand, but like a few good developer interviews and a couple of nice announcements, and a good little range of games, and a lot of them coming to Game Pass, which is really good. So, yeah.
Also, can I just congratulate them on titling a game Floppy Nights? I just think that's wonderful. I don't even care what the game is.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that title.
To do with floppy disks.
I think that was the one that was like a card-based game as well. So, yeah.
Sadly, I don't think it's quite the knob gag that I'm going for, if indeed. Yes, it is just projections from floppy disks. I just Googled that. I thought it was going to be some form of luncheon meat-based japery, but clearly
there was
not.
quite a few other good-looking games. There Is No Light looked really interesting. Chinatown Detective Agency looked quite intriguing. So, yeah, I'm quite looking forward to playing some of those in the future on Game Pass.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right, but not before. We are in the process of wrapping up, but first, Coleman, I do want to say there's two other very quick bits in the news that we need to talk about.
Tencent, they're on their purchase spree still. They have picked up Tequila Works. They bought a major stake in the company. Tequila Works, if you didn't know, they made Rhyme, which was meant to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and then PlayStation reportedly took back their dev units, and then they became multi-platform.
Okay.
Guilt, the Sexy Brutale, which I heard that was a really good. Actually, I've got that game and I still haven't played it. And the upcoming Son of Nunu, a League of Legends story. So there you go. Makes sense for Tencent to pick them up. I think they're a Spanish developer as well.
Tequila, I believe so.
Yes. So Frontier, they have announced this week that they have ended their development of Elite Dangerous on consoles. So there's only going to be minor updates, no DLC stuff. This is because there was the Odyssey expansion that came out last year. I believe that was held back a lot, and then COVID caused problems, and then the expansion actually came out, and then it got review bombed on Steam to holy hell because it was crashing and causing connectivity problems and interfering with the main game itself.
It really what they did absolutely fumble this when they released it. I mean, I did pick it up and I played a little bit, but it was such a mess that I was just, I'm just going to wait, and I haven't really gone back to it since. I mean, this is a bit of a move, and certainly Elite Dangerous, the console playing Elite Dangerous fraternity have kind of thrown up. They're up in arms about it. Surprise, surprise, it's the internet. But I think a number of players are actually quitting the game for good. It's just like, well, you clearly don't care about console players. It's all about PC for you. So F you, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that got into Elite Dangerous for the VR aspect, and then they dropped that. So.
Yeah.
They like dropping things if it's not doing well for them anymore. But David Braben, the CEO of Frontier, he did put out a blog post saying that the console versions will only receive critical updates because they're now going to focus just on the PC, getting that update fixed. So I've never played Elite Dangerous. Any good?
It looked good.
I've never played Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous. It's quite a good chill out game, I find. Okay. I don't do any of the fighty bit. I like mining asteroids for stuff, shiny things. what I like.
Okay, I'll look into it.
No, but
Maybe
it's
I'll get it
whatever.
on
I think it's one of those
console.
games. It's whatever you wanna make of it, you can do it. And if you want to explore, if you want to be kind of a xenoarchaeologist and just try and find alien ruins on planets, if you just want to explore the universe, you can do all of that
Sounds lovely.
in a spaceship. Yes.
That's all the news we got this week.
Splendid. Before we go, we'll just shine a bit of a spotlight on the charity we'd like to talk about this week, and this is one that I think is very close to all of our hearts, and that is being able to stream for Mind, the mental health charity. So, tell us a bit more about it, Coleman.
Yeah, so Mind, as Dan said, this is the mental health charity. They provide advice, support to empower anyone experiencing any mental health problems. They also campaign to improve services, raise awareness, and promote understanding of mental health. So if you go over to mind.org.uk, they have a section for their event called Stream for Mind. You can just donate directly to Mind. However, you may want to take part of their streaming. You have to sign up to do so. But then you can follow their streaming goals. So you can either stream for 5 hours for the 1 in 5 children with mental health problems who wait for over 6 months to see a mental health specialist. You can stream for 15 hours for the 1 in 15 people who attempt to take their own life each year. Or you can stream for 23 hours for the 23% of us who have experienced mental health problems in 2020. All very worthy to donate for. So, I mean, I think I speak for the three of us. We've had problems in the past, and it's good to have something to fall back on if it ever goes, too bad.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just pleased to see stuff like this getting the attention it deserves, and certainly there's quite well streamers out there I know who have been really campaigning quite strongly for kind of mental health issues, particularly men's mental health issues. Jimmy Broadbent, he's a big racing YouTuber. I know he's done a lot. Even Lando Norris, who is an F1 driver and also occasional streamer when he's not earning billions and millions of pounds. I know he's been a big advocate and supporter of Mind as well. And, it's just getting the conversation out there that it's okay not to be okay, and helping to raise money for services, even if all you can do is get the word out that stuff like this is happening. Is so important. Really, really thrilled to see that they're doing a streaming fundraiser, and just keep your eyes pinned to socials, or even just find out a bit more about it yourself. So that's mind.org.uk, and if you just search for Stream for Mind on there, you should be able to find out exactly what you're looking for.
Yes. That's everything.
So there we go. I have a question. We don't have any questions, but I would like to do my inaugural whoosh moment on our Discord.
Go on then.
What?
My inaugural whoosh moment, and I'm naming this for something that just quite clearly went over somebody's head. In the PC channel, I posted a screenshot of Steam where they were proudly announcing that World War III was going free to play, and I was just like, "Wow, yikes!" And Spikers went, "Yes, it's not doing very well in the sales. They've just had to make it free to play to increase the player base." So, Spikers, I first of all thank you for your honest answer, but that wasn't what I was going for. So, yes, I just thought it was quite tonally deaf, bearing in mind where the world is at the moment. Hey, look, there's this great game called World War III. Anyone can get stuck in. I was like, are imitating life a bit too much there, mate. Thank you very much.
We did get a bit of interaction on the Discord. I just forgot to put it in the agenda because I was a bit pressed for time this time. So first of all, we've got Stealthy Joe. He wants to know what the song was at the end of episode 481. That was Vroom by the Fanatics, which if you can spell that the way they've spelt it off the top of your head, then well done to you. That's the official theme song for Gran Turismo 7, which is why I used it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeet 7. Is that what the cool kids are calling it these days?
Well, I mean, the previous one, like a Jeet 6, that was a much better song, I think. Yeah. Also, we got some suggestions for superhero names.
Right.
Mostly. So, Spiky Chris, he said, Dan's superhero name is Dust Eye for making all those villains eat his dust.
Damn straight.
We got on YouTube, which I have completely lost the comment. I've forgotten who you are. Dan said, Dan, apparently your superhero name is Captain Average because you already had the name.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is true. Although there is a singer-songwriter in America called Captain Average as well.
Yeah.
And I actually have one of his shirts that proudly says Captain Average on it. I like my self-suggested superhero name of Hooded Moron. I think that is far more apropos. And also doubles nicely as a wrestling name as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I quite like Sam Ronan. He put up his suggestion, which he wants you to go for more a classic X-Men style rather than the Avengers. With or without the spandex, that's up to you. And just be called...
Des Tiny.
Des Tiny.
Des Tiny. Yes,
that's
Tiny
his alter
Des.
ego.
Yeah.
Secret alter ego.
Des Tiny.
Michael Des.
Also, Stingo wanted to know why isn't there, after talking about GT7, how is there not a game called Menu Quest, which Spiky Chris has answered? It's called EVE Online. There you go.
There we go. So anyway, that's your lot.
That's all of it.
Thank you for your questions. Please ask us more because we do enjoy being asked the questions.
How can they do that?
What? They can
How
do
can
it
they
on
do that?
Discord, mate. Is what they can do. You get it on Discord, and how do they find Discord? I hear you ask. Well, there's some links in the show notes that Coleman's lovingly crimped out for you as part of the multimedia extravaganza that is
Actual
this
crimper.
show. You can either listen to us as a podcast, as you probably are from your podcast provider of choice, or you can find us on YouTube. So yeah, and I believe that is youtube.com/BigRedBarel TV. I want to say.
Sing it. Sounds right. Look up Big
Why
Red
not?
Barrel TV or just look up Big Red Barrel. I think we pop up.
You can also find us on www.BigRedBarel.com, Facebook.com/BigRedBarel, and Twitter.com/BigRedBarel2. I occasionally go on Twitter, but only like once a year. That is a verifiable fact. When I've stumbled across something that annoys me and I feel compelled to post about it.
That's why you post about me a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah. So all of those things, you can find all those links in the show notes too. So go and do that. And if you can find a moment in your day to leave us a podcast review, we would really appreciate that. In whichever store of your choice, podcast provider of choice, really, really helps us climb up the cheeky old charts. And hopefully gets more people along to listen to this nonsense. So I think that's it. And if that is it, which I have a sneaking suspicion it is, all that's really left for me to do is to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
Yeah, I've been chaos. I'm still chaos.
Oh, I thought you were going to be
Are you?
wrestling
Are you?
chaos.
I know I'm chaos the champion.
Have you
Got
tried
chaos in me.
wrestling chaos?
Yeah,
though?
Jack's gonna come get me.
Chaos, the champion.
I've come to wrestle chaos.
That'd be amazing.
All I know is I need to wrestle chaos. It's like a hunger, like a thirst. I need to wrestle
Wow.
chaos.
Is that
You can
is
cut
that
a good promo with that,
just a
Coleman.
very closely abridged line from the script of the game? Because that is terrible.
There used to be one of the WWs you could write storylines and then put them, intertwine them with cutscenes and stuff, and then upload them online, and then people would download them. That would be brilliant now.
Yeah, if you fed
Just
a
the whole thing on
Final
chaos.
Fantasy storyline into that yeah.
Genius.
That would be chaos.
Anyway, we are going to go now. Timothy, back in your box.
Okay.
Off you go. There we go. Night, night. Sleepy buys. There he's off.
Bye.
There we go. Oh, bless him. So,
Oh, he's gone.
thank you ever
he's
so
back.
much. He's back on now. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for downloading us. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com.
And the new kind of hub that the game all centers around, for some reason, is a cafe.
Do you know why? Because
No?
there's an above average chance that you're going to be able to hear some jazz